Between aging and busy lifestyles, many women struggle with maintaining their physical and mental wellness. At Aquavita Concierge Healthcare Services for Women, we can help you revitalize your health and reclaim your life. We start from within by balancing your hormones, allowing your body to achieve and maintain desired weight goals. We also specialize in peptide therapies, regenerative medicine, sexual health, and aesthetics in our state-of-the-art facilities. Feel better, look better, live better. At Aquavita, visit aquavitality.com and begin your journey today.
Well, you think maybe that this year would get better from here on out. I mean, we managed to get through all the insanity, so things should even out. I mean, what with us going into another weekend? Nothing too painful about the situation, I see. Oh, look, the 14th. Sonic comes out on the 14th, right? Yeah, see, everything lines up. Oh, wait, February 14th. Valentine's Day, huh? Okay, yeah, that's not bad at all. Yeah, sure. Oh no. That means I gotta do another one of those kind of episodes. Hey, but at least I'm not late this time. So, welcome to the J-Man Show here on
J360 Radio.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey, what's going on, J360 Legion? This is the J-Man, of course. Welcome to episode 138 of the J-Man Show. And yes, it is a Valentine's Day special. And I would like you all to know, while we're getting into it, things have been kind of calm as of late on the front. I don't see too many people posting like Valentine's Day or Single Awareness Day, so maybe things are starting to even out. Maybe people are actually starting to be more confident and assertive about themselves. And oh my God, I'm speaking too soon because there's that website again, and people trying to make a database. Have you noticed that people are so petty and angry nowadays, they'll go to extreme limits to go ahead and try to prove their point even though they don't have one? There's this, I don't know whether it's a hive or a group of angry women out there, and they want to build this website to try to track down certain information on guys, like database and all that stuff, you know, on who they dated and how they dated as a way of, you know, preventing the F-boy status that girls, you know, don't have to deal with. It sounds like that subplot from that one movie that was called Amazon Women on the Moon, where like, you know, Steve Guttenberg was trying to date this beautiful blonde, and the blonde was all ready to go with him, but she had all this paperwork on him, and she was talking about him and stuff, and like who he dated, how he dated, all his mannerisms and stuff. So needless to say, he didn't get any that night, but he also tried to call up one of the girls he knew, and she started doing the same thing to him through the phone. I thought it was hilarious, but I never thought somebody would actually stoop so low to try to build something similar to it. I mean, I guess the dating game is pretty grim out there or something. I don't know. I don't know why you would even waste time trying to build something like that. You see what I'm saying? And here we are once again, you know, new technology. I mean, granted, the player lifestyle has kind of shifted ever since social media and people grouping and trying to figure out, hey, how else can I and alienate and annoy people while at the same time trying to promote the greater good, because in their mindset, they think they're doing the right thing. You see? Even though at the same time, certain information that you grab about people, you should not be running around, brokering it and throwing it about anyway. But, hey, morals are out the window. And plus, when it comes to like dating can either be hit or miss. That's the whole point. In a way, it's like, it's like an interview. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why should somebody waste their time daily with you? Or, well, I shouldn't say waste their time. Spend their time, more or less, with you. And you give it, the first one is really just getting to know that representative. Second time is getting out there to build that, level. And then third, you would think that there was enough trust to be built up where, that you really know each other's mannerisms and stuff. Like, these things take time. But, what the way things are, and I guess celebrity lifestyles, and everybody wants to mimic somebody, and they want to have that whirlwind romance, and, nothing bad ever happens in these, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I have my idiosyncrasies and somebody else has their idiosyncrasies, and it could either go one or two ways. It could go north or it could go south, and, it's not like anything could happen or don't happen, Like, I'll never understand why people even try to act like everybody comes with an instruction manuals. We're not robots. We're all a combination of genes and impulses and all sorts of other scientific terms. And sometimes they just don't fire right. And then sometimes they do. You've seen them already before. But the point is this. Stop trying to act like all people are the same, too. I've noticed that. Noticed that quite a lot with my exploits, and I noticed that quite a lot with everybody else's exploits. Oh, all men do this. All men over 30 can't hold a conversation. Obviously, they didn't meet my black ass, because I'm going to tell you this, right? I don't care who you are, or where you're from, or what you do. There ain't no love me in that crap. But the truth is this. I'll talk to you anyway. I will go out of my way to have a decent conversation with you. And I remember this being from another podcast where, female-based podcast, of course. I apologize. Hold on there. The ladies of the J360 Legion, I am not trying to be mean to you. I'm just saying this. These are people that don't know how to interact with other people, so they blame their problems on others. And you see, as that wonderful lady posted that on her forum response, I happily went out of my way and said, hey, I'm 32. Let's talk. And you know what I got back in response? Nada. I didn't get anything. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it was bogus, it was flawed, and needless to say, that person couldn't back up their claim. Now, when you start making little explanations like that, and you start throwing bits and pieces out there, citation needed, It's just weird to me. And I'm like this. Not everybody's the same. Sure, there are certain aspects. I'm not 20 anymore. I'm not even in my 20s anymore. I don't feel bad about it at all. I like the fact that, I live to see another year. Life has changed, and sometimes it changes for the better in terms of other things. Whereas social interaction kind of takes a nosedive. But you see, some people have noticed, and they try to do better with that. But it's just that, once again, we try to compartmentalize things. We try to label people on this and that instead of just, live and let live a little bit. Remember the Beatles? Let it be. If somebody's gay, let it be. If somebody's straight, let it be. And not everybody's out to get somebody either. You know what I'm saying? I've seen this not too long ago. I saw somebody that was so into this person that it was strange behavior coming from this person too, because he was a pretty cool dude, but it's just like, this chick wasn't even pretty, and he's all kicking doors and crap because she's not reciprocating, or she was teasing or something like that. I don't know, it's convoluted, but I just look at it from time to time and I'm like, bro, you can meet better women. And truth is, anybody out there, look, any of y'all that are really going through this forlorn hope stuff, I get it. You shot your shot, and I commend you for shooting your shot, and you're always allowed to shoot your shot no matter what society tells you. Sometimes you just got to be a little bit more smart about the timing and the place value. But when you look at it this way, okay, you shot your shot, the person thought it was okay, but they ain't reciprocated back. I mean, you gotta eventually move on, all right? And I don't mean eventually like a year or so and all that stuff. I mean like a lot more recent. If they're not going to move on with the claim, or they're not going to move on with the application here, you know, you can always go to other places. You can always go see other people. And there's a lot of social outlets and events where you can do these things. I mean, granted, some of y'all don't live in my home state, so, you know, you don't have to go through that problem. But you see, if there's a open invitation to do these things, you know, you should go do that. Or just go ahead and work on yourself. I mean, that's kind of the best way to do. Like, if you get rejected, keep in mind, rejection is part of the game. You should you should just go ahead and look at that and be like, you know what, thank you. You've given me perspective. And now that I don't have to waste time or money on your behind anymore, I can go ahead and grow and stack all my stuff to where I can go ahead and meet somebody that's more appreciative of who I am as a person. You know what I'm saying? It's not saying that it's all bad. That person could probably be a friend or whatever. But when it gets right down to it, though, don't ever beat yourself up, and don't beat up other things around you, like certain people I know that do those things. You know, because it's a bad look. It really is. Like, because, I mean, you know, if you're suave and you're smart and you're cultured and you take the time and, you know, that one little thing really ruins your whole day, or it ruins, like, every aspect you had. I mean, you probably had a great fantasy. You probably had a great dream, like, you know, now I don't have to ever worry about this anymore. But little did you realize that as soon as you get in a relationship, that's a whole different trek of stuff to deal with. Because not only are you dealing with you and your problems, you'll be dealing with the other person and their problems. And so while you'll be doing that sort of stuff, it's like a tennis match almost. Only this time it's doubles. And not only that, you got to deal with their family, their friends, in addition to your family, your friends. I mean, it's just... And if things don't mesh with them, they'll do what they can to try to destroy your relationship. And there are people out there that are notorious and petty enough to do this. So you might want to be aware of who you hang out with after a while. But it's just really, really interesting how we as a species deal with each other and this coupling of things. But don't ever take it out on different circumstances, because rejection and failure happens to everyone, every time, and in different circumstances. I could tell you stories about me, per se. And the truth is that, yeah, I had a temp at one time, but not a temp to where I displaced my anger. You know what I mean? The thing about me is I'll always go after the source. That's the thing. Kind of like Galactus and Thanos. If you did something to them, boy, they coming after that ass. So, you know, chances are, if it's something of mine or something that went wayward, or you had something to say about me and you weren't going to say it to my face or whatever, oh, I'll be right there talking to you. Just like I did to that woman at the forum. It just doesn't make any sense. You know? Because, I mean, if you got something to say, let me tell you something. There's always an exception to the rule. And I try to be the exception to the rule on a lot of things. I remember when somebody tried to profile me one time, I said, "Excuse me. You don't even know me like that. So at the end of the day, you have no business trying to profile anybody. Especially if you live in your little comfort zone and just blew your mind and all that kind of stuff. You don't have no idea that I'm not dependent on anything." See what I'm saying? Or you got somebody that thinks that they can go ahead and throw their weight around and try to bully you, and at the same time, you cannot bully anyone, especially the J-Man, because the J-Man won't allow that nonsense. Needless to say, I never saw that clown again after I got in his face. But the point is this. There's ways to do these things. Now, when it comes back to the dating and the relationships and stuff, a lot of people develop social phobias. So they don't know really how to talk or speak well for themselves. People make fun of them because of it. Or they go ahead and they try to say, "Oh, you know, he ain't got no game. He ain't got nothing going for himself." Blah, 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 blah. See, when you got little mannerisms like that going on, the negative self-talk is very real. I want all of you out there, and I'm not trying to say this immediately, but what I want to say is this. That negative self-talk, throw it out the window. Don't even allow it to be a thing. You understand what I'm saying? We all have our good days and our bad days, but if you're shooting your shot for someone or someone else or whatevs it may be, you don't want to be negative. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm sorry I came to talk to you. You see what that sounds like? I'm sorry. That should never be your first statement. Your first statement should be hi or hello. Your first statement should be introducing yourself and talking well. It's all about how you carry yourself. Oh, and make sure you're all cleaned up too. Like really, really look good, Don't go over there with like onions in your beard and all that kind of stuff. Not saying I had onions in my beard, because the J-Man's beard is creme de la creme and shall never carry crumbs within the finesse of the mane that is bestowed upon. But for those of you out there that do have facial hair, and I do know there are some women out there with facial hair, go on ahead and unleash the wolf. Be you. But like I say, make sure you're all like in your Monday best. Sunday best is a little too overdressed, but Monday best, go on ahead with yourself. And then speak your piece. And you don't necessarily have to ask them out at that point. Like, come on, let's give it a little bit of time here. You build up. And you're probably thinking, well, Jay, Valentine's Day is on Friday, and I was hoping that... No. Valentine's Day is made for Valentine's Day, pretty much. Originally, it was about a monk. I don't know, I already spoke about the history of it, and it doesn't really matter now because we're focusing on the romantic side of things. But when it gets right down to it, it's not a deadline, and it's not anything else. It might be a beginning to something. You can go ahead and do some speed dating if you want to. You know what I mean? And in those circumstances, it's a little different. But what you do is you just build up and let the common sense take over a little bit. But common sense is not in everybody's playbook. That's why you listen to this show from time to time. So, you just have to go ahead and utilize it that way. And then hopefully you might find the same interest. You might hit it off pretty good. Don't forget to exchange numbers from time to time. And here's the thing, right? Find somebody to be weird with. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody wants to be like, oh, don't be weird. Oh, don't be creepy. Well, I can understand don't be creepy. I can understand that. But romance is creepy anyway, if you really think about it. Like, oh yeah, you throw like little notes around, you put your secret admirer there, and then all these other issues, or you talk about like how beautiful somebody that you barely know is. I mean, in a way, we have to just go ahead and kill off the word creepy, because truth be told, romance is creepy, but it's got to be that lighthearted, fun creepy. Kind of like being a voyeuristic perv. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you don't lose sleep over that, I mean, think about it. 19-year-old Jade Man was a man without a beard, barely had a mustache then, but was going out there into the world, armed with his camera, and sometimes his binoculars, and he just had to see things that Victoria's Secret teased about in his earlier days. No, my life was not that sad, but let me tell you what, right? I did have a little bit of fun being a voyeuristic perv. But, like I said, it's not about how sick I am. It's about the idea of, and let's be real, right? Pervin's not problematic. You've all read Hustler like I did. Sheesh. At the end of the day, don't judge me. But what I'm saying is, you gotta have a little fun with it. And too many people are trying to beat comedy into the ground, when at the same time, most of the best comedy comes from when you're trying to be in a relationship. When you're trying to get to know somebody and all those formative things. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I mean, at the end of the day, I remember one time for a date, I got all dressed up and went to go see the girl. It was a blind date, by the way. It turned out she was in her casuals, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, decked out, man. I'm looking great. And believe it or not, some of y'all haven't seen me in a suit, which I'm going to save for another time. Wait until J360 TV. You'll be blown away. You see, and I felt kind of, off-putting. Granted, I had a change of clothes, but at the same time, I was like, yo, man, I'm decked out here. What's your excuse? But at the end of the day, I didn't have to date her anymore because she was pretty much a pretentious bitch. But it's the truth. Like, so there's times from, look your best, but don't look your Sunday best. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, carried on with myself because being rejected is kind of a good thing. You can go ahead about your day, you go meet new people, you just open up the gates a little bit. And that's what I mean by opening up the gates. And then you see I start operating under NFG at that point because, NFG will save you a lot of time too. Especially when you're, when you start to feel like, you really know yourself at that point. And I'll be honest with you, it'll teach you a lot about yourself because you know what you want, you know who you look for. Like, at the end of the day, I know I argue a lot. And I know that the girls I look into, they got to be able to keep up with me from time to time because I always just, I just go off and do my own thing a lot. And then 9 times out of 10, they'll know where I'm at and stuff like that and speak up and stuff like that. Like, from time to time, like, meet me on that way. Remember the tennis match thing I told you all about? That's kind of what it is, like, dealing with me from time to time. Or that, or like a football game. But it's very worth your while, And then also, I'm very competitive. So, that's like little things like that, too. Like, fight me in Street Fighter a couple of times. Or, talk to me about sports. Watch a few animes. All sorts of wild things. And then, I would add more to that, but this is not me putting myself out there. But, that's the whole thing I see. But I also see, like, circumstances and attributes. Like, I can't deal with somebody who's down on themselves. You got to be confident. And I'll help you, I'll push you along the way a little bit. But you got to feel confident in yourself. You see what I'm saying? That's what really helps. Being confident, finding the hobbies, finding the things that you like and what you would expect out of another person, but at the same time being open to what that other person has to offer because, what we expect might not be what we need necessarily. And you see, when it comes to like Valentine's, especially if it's got weekend status, there's so many Valentine's events out there. You don't want to stay in the whole time, do you? Like being on Twitch and everything. I think Twitch gives you like achievements or something, or it's called like something about it's like played video games on Valentine's Day. Like when you start out, like they give you like this achievement or something. I've already claimed it, so I'm not staying in this time. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. As for me myself, I probably would. I wish I would did some DJing, man. That'd be kind of nice. But then again, my cousin's more of a DJ than I ever was. So I would have like a little Valentine's playlist, go ahead and do a live show out there, host the event, MC it up a little bit. Little things like that. And who's to say I wouldn't do it in the future, huh? Gives me something to do. Granted, I'll probably be dating then or something like that. So we'll see how that goes. And I got interest in somebody. I'm sure she's out there doing her own thing. And if she needs something, she knows where I'm at. But, yeah, I look at it from time to time and I see, like, so many people uptight about one day. Oh, if I don't get engaged by today, blah, 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 blah. What you gonna do? You in a happy relationship. Deal with it. Maybe the person that's you're with is just busy there trying to get that special ring, trying to get all that stuff together, or you're probably allergic to white gold. Could you imagine somebody giving someone a ring and they're allergic to what the material of that ring is made of? That'd be one hell of an engagement, wouldn't it? It could be a lot of circumstances out there why you're not into that stuff, or why, somebody is scared of committing or whatever it is. And it could be either a hit or miss, because engagements break up much like relationships do. It just, much like anything else, human interaction. And they can go either north or south. But at the end of the day, you don't necessarily have to pinpoint it on Valentine's Day. And then, of course, there's certain people that go out on Valentine's Day. Like, they go to the restaurants and everything. Or they go to the movies. And they're all stuck in lines. Yep. You see, here's the thing with me. I don't celebrate Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day in general. And if I do, usually it's at home or at, the other person's home. You see, because, lines, folks. Lots of lines. And other couples. And it's somebody bragging about what they're doing tonight. Or somebody tweeting about all this other stuff, what they're doing tonight. It's like, good Lord. After a while, it's like, nah, this isn't what I wanted at all. I wanted to spend time with my significant other here. And I wanted to just, show her a night on the town, have a good old time. And then, at night, clap the cheeks. But needless to say, it takes a lot of endurance to get there because, you got to get all dressed up. If you don't have your reservation, be prepared to sit in the lobby. And then you got that little box or something like that, especially if it's like Red Lobster, where your table's finally ready, or, there's another person's table finally ready. You go, beep, 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 beep. And then you hope that you got a good table, but you'll probably get that one table that's in the back where, the bus boy's getting all his gear together. And then eventually somebody from the wait staff will come talk to you. Ain't no way, man. I mean, with all that going on, I might as well just go ahead, open up the gate a little bit, go ahead and show my culinary skills, and then eventually clap the cheeks. And then at the end of the day, it's a good feeling. Because I know the day after Valentine's Day, I ain't doing jack. One thing I'm doing is wrapping myself up in sheets, call out of work, go sleep. That's it. Case closed. Hey, before you all say, Jay, you would skip work? Hey, look. Even I deserve a day. If you knew how my schedule was, not just dealing with college, not just dealing with J360 Productions, and not just dealing with, what's the other thing? Oh, yeah, the day job. And then also helping out my parents from time to time, going over to their spot and see how they're doing, because, they are getting up there in age. So, and that's just a little bit of how to do things. The old boy got a universe here to build and everything else, so I have to go ahead and make time whenever I can. But the beautiful part about making time is I make those minutes count. So, yeah, that's probably a reason why I was very single for a long time. But much like anything else, still pretty much that way. But, you work your way up and you get where you need to be. And you play it day by day to where you get. You see what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people out there who don't understand patience and don't understand that love takes time. Don't understand that, if it ain't going to go anywhere, it ain't going to go anywhere. There's nothing wrong with being single. There's a lot wrong with being idle. And there's a lot wrong with being lovesick. And then there's a lot wrong with love shyness. And like I said, love shyness and love sickness is like when you're really, really into it, but then you start exhibiting signs of being sick. But when you're love shy, like you think that nobody really pays attention to you. It's a social phobia. It's something that, your mind starts to play with you a little bit. And you start thinking that, oh, nobody will accept me. Nobody will see me. Nobody will give me that chance or that time of the day. And I used to have that problem. I got over it, needless to say, but it affects a lot of people. And you see, it's hard. Well, much like anything else, yeah, it's pretty difficult. Because after a while, you have to start really thinking, is this stuff legitimate? And then after a while, your mind talks to you too much to the point where you find yourself having an inability to form even the most basic relationships. Like, basic friendships are hard at that point. Because at the end of the day, you really want acceptance. Are they going to accept you for who you are? They're going to accept you for your flaws. And you ask yourself that question all the time, but then you have to be like this. To hell with it, I got to try anyway. That's where NFG comes from. You do it regardless. They don't like you. Keep on walking. And I don't know how far it's going to go between me and that one I have my eye on, but, like I said, it'd be one hell of an adventure. And I'm not throwing in the towel anytime soon. So it's like, if anything else, you got to play the game. And the only way to play the game is to be in the game. And quite a lot of people are not even in the game because they listen to all these other circumstances, man. Like, our society is built on keeping our insecurities out there rather than us conquering them to try to get that happily ever after. And it's bad. It's really bad. Your relationship life will never be the same as Beyonce or Jay-Z's. Your relationship life will never even be the same as, and God forbid, Trump and Melania's. You just have to, you know what I'm saying? Build your way of a universe. Build your way of life, and then hope that somebody can reciprocate and like it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we are where we are, because it's a lot to get over, and it's a lot of this. Like, some people are so set in their ways they're afraid to change. That's true too. You got to be open to making some changes for yourself and with that other person. And have you noticed that there's some people that will jump into relationships just so they can try to change somebody? That's stupid. I really shouldn't say that entirely because, results vary. But yeah, that's pretty stupid. Because, see, when people are who they are, and somebody doesn't bring up the whole idea of a change stuff, that's more like a team effort to change somebody. Because they got to be willing to make that change. Because if not, it's just going to be like a mess for everybody that's involved. Especially the ones on the outside. Because all they hear about is the drama then. And you see certain drama like that, while at the same time, it's like you sit there on Twitter, you look at it, you're like, oh my God, that's funny. But then it's not so funny when that static is in your house and you're sitting there and you're like, Jesus, will you chill? I'm trying to see what's going on Twitter. Oh, who am I tweeting? I'm tweeting out here to the world. What are you jealous about me tweeting to the world for? Yeah, you're right. I'm a punk. I ain't nothing. The worst part about it is, I'm sure somebody's going through that scenario right now out there somewhere, and thank God I don't know him because I probably would clown him. I mean, at the end of the day, you should never really put yourself in situations like that. And then there's always that one person filming certain circumstances when it comes to the compromise position or all that other kind of stuff where, it's always somebody being flawed up here or there, or somebody did some cheating and all. And, there's more people out there that are worried about that. Worried about another man or another woman popping up in there. Now, you see, let's do it the J-Man way, where, you have a camera set up there, like cheaters, and then as they getting it on, right, you get all the angles of what's happening, then you take that footage, and you go ahead and you sell it out there to one of those adult industries, and I guarantee you'll make a mint. You won't work in mainstream filmmaking, but you'll make a mint. Oh, man, the bucks that will be made. I'm kidding. But there's ways of doing those things. Like, I think there was a Greek myth one time where Hephaestus caught Mars and, not Mars, his name's not Mars in that, where Hephaestus caught Ares and Aphrodite getting it on, but he had this magical net made, and it showed them all trapped in a compromised position, so all the gods were looking at that and laughing, and both of them got so embarrassed by it that they never really interacted again. I mean, like, little things like that, there are ways to get revenge, folks. But at the end of the day, that's really not the main plan right now. I could talk about relationship revenges on another episode. But, at best, if you're so worried about cheating, in a way, you'll kind of know. You'll know if you've been cheated on. You'll know about a lot of things. But you see, the thing about trust is hard to maintain and it's easy to break. Hell, it was hard to even get in the first place. But at the end of the day, do you think that after all the hard work you put in to get that trust, you would fracture it up if there wasn't anything else wrong with the picture? You know what I'm saying? Like how certain relationships are not fair. Where like somebody works and works and works, where the other person, they don't have to do anything, so they're at home and they get to go do all that other wild stuff and try to hold, you know what I mean? Pretty much just basically have a life, whereas the other person doesn't. Little scenarios like that. That's a problem. And they're of varied kinds. And it's usually because we as human beings, we are so complex and we're so insecure about a lot of things. And it's not without help from our society around us that puts us into that scenario. Just like how a lot of people hate Valentine's Day because they think Valentine's Day is all about couples. Valentine's Day is just a regular day like any other day. It's just what you use the holiday for. Now, when I was a kid, I used to write Valentines to all the girls that were in my class. Yeah, I used to do that. And then sometimes I got something back, and then sometimes I didn't. I just had my fun. Because I thought it was a nice thing to do. You know what I'm saying? And see, that's when I was like, yeah, when I was 6 years old, I had a lot of swag, man. But it's just what you do, And then, like, when you get older and stuff like that, things start to change. But, you never know whose day you're brightening by just saying Happy Valentine's Day to them. And you see, I'm not going to make a profit out of that or anything. I mean, because there's a lot of the world needs some love. Everybody knows, like, what hate is. I mean, I think the coolest thing that people, well, it's not even the coolest thing. It's just really, really, and when I say coolest thing, sometimes I'm using quotes on it. But a lot of people are out here hating what they love. Like, a lot of people that love Star Wars, they're out there saying they hate Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are out there just using hate to spread love, and it's the weirdest thing. I just look at it and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of hell that comes out of all this, and it doesn't make any damn sense. So I just try to stay out of it. But when it comes to the relationship-wise, once again, try again. Shoot your shot. Give it a fighting chance. And if it doesn't go anywhere, move on to the next person. Take your time with it, though. When it comes to rejection, here's how it goes. 2 days to a week. Okay? 2 days to a week. At that point, don't even try to go after that person anymore. Don't try to convince them. It's taking a lot more energy and a lot more of your time away. And it ain't worth it. And then always try to smile anyway and keep on walking, because there's a lot of people that like your smile. There's probably a lot of people that would like to hear from you sometime. You'll never know what it is if you keep going ahead doing the same old stuff. And I would like to let you all know that I talked your ear off enough. I got to get going. So, happy Valentine's Day to all of you. And I hope each and every one of you practice it safely. And we'll meet back up around here next week for episode 139. Unless I decide to do something a little different. Okay? Well, this is the J-Man signing off. So, peace out, y'all.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.